Good morning, everyone. Please take your seats. Welcome to this day, this ceremony to recognize the International Day of Mourning, a day to honor workers who have been killed, injured, or suffered illness as a result of work-related incidents. Before we begin, just a few housekeeping issues. There are washrooms here. They are located out to the corridor to the left. We also have muster points in the event of having to evacuate the building. The closest one for this group is out the main doors in the dining hall, straight out to the front by the flagpoles. The other one is located in the back to the northwest of the parking lot. We also have a quiet room for anyone who feels the need to step away to reflect. And there will be a light lunch served after the ceremony, and everyone is welcome to join the committee. AUPE's Occupational Health and Safety Committee believes strongly in supporting members and recognize the impact to everyone when we commit to going to work with the intention of returning home at the end of that workday. My name is Bonnie Gostola, and it is my honor to be a Vice President of AUPE and the Chair of the Occupational Health and Safety Standing Committee. I will be your host for this ceremony today. We know this day can be difficult and very emotional for some people. Many of us have lost loved ones and struggled with stress or injury due to workplace hazard and job strain. Should you feel triggered or want to talk to an ally, we've invited an outreach coordinator to be available at the day of mourning to support individuals and make referrals. Please contact Barb Barber via text message or phoning 403-318-4324. Barb is with us today, as you can see. I will now ask, we need a Kozakar from Local 56 for the Indigenous Land Acknowledgement.
As we come together to conduct our union business on Treaty 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10 lands, AUPE would like to voice our continued commitment to walking the path of reconciliation with many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people of Turtle Island. The journey to this day has not been easy. It is important to acknowledge the damage and horrific loss of life due to the colonial practice of forced disconnection from land, family, culture, and language, and community. Recognizing the legacy of tradition and history is a step on the path to healing, and we will work towards a future in which we are living reconciliation, not just speaking about it.
Thank you, Anita. Now I'll call on Rose Pimental from Local 47 to give us our Statement of Equality.
Equality and equity are core union values, and as such, AUPE is committed ensuring that individuals can meaningfully participate and contribute to union activities. Participants are expected to challenge and debate issues and not individuals, as well as engage in behaviors that protect and celebrate our diversity. AUPE will neither condone or tolerate behavior that undermines the dignity of self-esteem of an individual or create an intimidating, hostile, and unsafe environment that interferes with the ability to others to participate in union activities. This behavior prevents us from working together to strengthen our union. We encourage individuals to acknowledge discrimination and harassment by challenging or reporting inappropriate behavior. In doing so, we promote our own solidarity and equality. If you feel your rights or rights of others are being violated and you are not able to address it, please seek an assistance from AUPE staff member or officers.
Thank you, Roseanne. It is my honor to introduce the members of the Occupational Health and Standing Committee. I am proud to be a part of this great team of activists who have worked hard to change the OHS culture in our union. Sandra Mill, Local 1. Carrie Burchill, Local 6. Dorinda Ainscoe, Local 12. Alicia Height, Local 44. Roseanne Pimentel, Local 47, Juanita Kozakar, Local 56, and Chantal Tyndall, Local 95. I would also like to recognize two members of AUP's staff who make the work of the committee so much easier to accomplish. They are an amazing part of our team. Ghanem Alatasi, AUP Administrative Professional, and Diana Key, our AUP Staff Advisor. Go ahead and sit. These members are dedicated to bringing awareness and work hard to address issues facing AUPE members in occupational health and safety. AUPE has two other staff members who support our members in the OHS department, Iraz Raz and Jason Wright. And I know they're here somewhere. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize the local OH&S liaisons. If you could all stand. These are the members on the ground coordinating efforts across Alberta with members in the locals and on their work sites. Thank you for all being here. I would also like to welcome all of you who have joined us here today. President Guy Smith and our guest speaker, Barb. I'd also a sincere welcome to Darlene Sumlack, sister of Roland Sumlack, for whom the OHS Award is named. And finally, I want to welcome the nominators and recipients of the Roland Sumlack Award. I'd also like to thank the members of Local 3 who are here as the honor guard for this ceremony. Kevin Patterson, Matthew Bolduc, Michael Martin, Sean Brake, Yulan Shintu, and I apologize for the pronunciation, Derek Chomiak, Mark LaRoque, Darren McFarlane, Scott Brow, and Martino Skanulis. And I also want to thank our pipers, Travis Furnival and Sheila McDonald, who is a member of the AUPE staff representing ALREP. April 28th is the internationally recognized date when we gather to honor and mourn those workers who have lost their lives or their livelihoods due to injuries and illness. The cost is too high when even one individual loses their life while trying to earn a living. The incidence of psychological injury and physical injury are on the rise. Workers are leaving the workforce due to burnout caused by excessive workloads and understaffing in many fields. Demands for more legislation to protect workers' overall well-being has all but fallen by the wayside under a government that appears to value employers' rights over workers' well-being. Incidents reported in Alberta jumped to 203 work-related deaths, marking the most significant increase since 2013. There have been 1,976 workplace fatalities since that time. Mental health issues, better known as psychological injuries in the OHS realm, are becoming more prominent in many of our workplaces. We are also here today to honor the worthy recipients of the Roland Sumlack Award. What is important to note is the unique nature of this award. Nominations come from co-workers, members who have seen the work of the nominees, recognizing their dedication to workplace safety up close. We know this day can be difficult and very emotional for some people, and many of us have lost loved ones or struggled with stress or injury due to workplace hazards and job strain. Again, we want you to be safe when you're here, so I would ask you to make sure that you are reaching out. To those who have also were nominated this year but not successful in receiving the Roland Sumlack Award, we want to recognize their contribution to OH&S. And they will be the first members to be recognized as safety heroes for AUPE. To those who sit on and attend worksite health and safety committees, we thank you. You are the first line of advocacy for the protection of rights guaranteed under OHS legislation, regulation, and collective agreements. At this time, I would like to call on Guy Smith to say a few words.
Thank you, Bonnie. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to recognize and thank the OH&S committee for their ongoing leadership in organizing this event every year. And Bonnie, as chair, you've done a fabulous job of making sure that we do actually have this event, and beyond that, making sure that our members are fully aware of OH&S issues and providing support to them throughout the year. So I want to thank you and your committee for your tireless work on that. And obviously, we have thousands of dedicated activists and advocates across this province who every single day work tirelessly to provide health and safety support to our members. So we recognize them as well and thank them. But I also want to thank all of you for being here today. And while it is somber and it's moving to gather this one day each year to remember and mourn the tragic loss of life and injury due to workplace accidents and unsafe and unhealthy working conditions, let us take heart in the fact that every single day of the year we continue to fight for the living. Union activists and health and safety advocates dedicate their brains, their muscles, and hearts to help protect their fellow workers through sharing of knowledge, by providing guidance and support, and sometimes just a sympathetic ear or even a shoulder to cry on. And this happens every single day in thousands of work sites across Alberta. And although one life lost is too many, and although any injury is an accident that didn't need to happen, let us recognize the tireless dedication of leaders, activists, advocates, and yes, even some employers out there who have, through their actions, saved lives and prevented injuries. But we know that this work never ends. We know it needs increasing attention and diligence, and we know we can all do better. And this is especially true, as Bonnie was mentioning, in the area of the increasing crisis of psychological injury. Often unseen, often undiagnosed, often stigmatized, but more often than not, more prevalent and debilitating than ever. But it is encouraging to see more focus on these psychological injuries. It is encouraging that more people are speaking out. It's encouraging to see more peer support groups actively working to help overcome the stigmatization and breaking the silence. And it's also encouraging to see that these issues are actually being brought to the negotiating table as well, to enshrine in collective agreements recognition of this type of injury and how workers can be supported through it. You know, I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know, but the times we're living in right now are taking its toll on society overall. And workers are feeling this and living this reality every single day, whether it's short staffing, toxic workplaces, fear of not being able to pay the bills or put food on the table, or fear of the overwhelming change and uncertainty that we feel around us. And we all have the responsibility to not only give workers hope, but to help them find their own collective strength and power. No one should suffer alone, because only hope can be realized and only real change can be brought about through mutual support, standing together, and taking collective action. I know that all of you in this room and many thousands like you across the province understand this and work tirelessly and diligently towards it every single day. For that, I want to personally thank you on behalf of the AUPE membership and other workers across the province. So let's take the time today to mourn, yes, remember those that have died or have been injured, and recommit to working as hard as we can to continue to fight like hell for the living. Thank you.
Thank you, President Smith. I'm now going to call on the members of the Standing Committee and some of our local OHS liaisons to give some insight on strengthening the culture of occupational health and safety at our work sites and offer some messages of hope. So, Carrie?
Good morning. My name is Carrie Birchall. I am a member of Local 6 and the Vice Chair of the OH&S Standing Committee. I would like to speak to you today about loss and its impact, how loss changes us, and the process that takes place that makes us different, the new person we become after suffering a loss. To paraphrase a great Canadian, Jim Carrey, loss carves through you, leaving a hollow ache. But over time, the pain softens, but the imprint remains, a quiet reminder of once was as it transforms you. Loss is not a burden to be hidden. It is not a weakness to be ashamed of. Let yourself mourn. Let yourself remember. Remembering is what we are doing today. We are remembering our colleagues, friends, and fellow professionals whose unplanned and unintended sacrifice has led to changes in us. Changes that take place as we process their loss. Changes that trigger growth and creates a new normal. What do we do with ourselves, with our new selves? How do we make sense of that loss? We do that by remembering.
Good morning. My name is Donna Morton, Local 45 OHS Liaison. Who, what, where, when, why, how? How did this happen? Why did this happen? Now what? Where do we go from here? How do we deal with the unknown and the future? These are the questions that come from family, friends, and co-workers with the loss of someone. Grief from the loss of someone can cause a spiraling downturn and a domino effect, causing further loss and trauma. How do we stop or change this effect? The loss of anyone in our lives causes a huge change in our immediate day-to-day routines and mental health. It has a permanent effect on our futures. How do we navigate these life-changing losses and keep ourselves and those around us healthy and strong? The first step is to acknowledge that things will never be the same again, and it is okay to feel what we are feeling.
Good morning, brothers, sisters, fellow workers, distinguished guests. My name is Evan Vincent. I'm the OH&S liaison for Local 46 right here in Edmonton. It's an honor to share the stage and participate in this ceremony with such amazingly dedicated staff and members here today. Whenever we experience injuries, loss, or traumatic events, it can be easy to become lost in our grief and emotions. The sudden and often permanent changes these events can cause can be overwhelming. We begin to ask ourselves existential questions like, what do I do now? How can I cope with this? Who cares how I'm feeling? In our grief, it's even more difficult to recognize when we need help to overcome these challenges brought on by loss or tragic life events. This is especially true for our members, those who dedicate their lives to providing support and services to Albertans. We're so used to being the support others need that we often neglect when we need to see it in ourselves. To grow from our grief, we must learn the many forms that support can take and begin to implement them in our daily lives. What support might look like to you is as varied as the many sectors that our union represents. Family, friends, co-workers, and yes, as Guy said, even our employers are invaluable resources on our healing journeys. While you may not have positive situations at home or at work, know that you're not alone in your pursuit of growth. If all else fails, you can always give me a call and we'll go play some pickleball. It's the cure for what ails me. But not all wounds can be cured by medical interventions or pickleball alone. In fact, asking for help and having someone to talk it over with may be the catalyst one needs to begin healing. Once we begin to heal and have a renewed perspective, it is important to use those emotional and physical scars, scabs, and lessons learned to then support others in times of crisis, loss, and grief. It is here that we will break the feedback loop of grief by creating a continuum of support. Thank you, and solidarity.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juanita Kozakar from Local 56 on the Standing Committee. Today, I would like to speak to you about changing the lifestyle, adjusting to the new normal. To adapt when someone close to you passes away means learning how to live in a world that has changed because of their absence. It's not about forgetting them or getting over it, but figuring out new ways to exist and move forward without them physically here. That can involve an emotional adjustment, dealing with the grief, sadness, anger, or numbness, and after time, allowing yourself to feel joy and peace again. Changing routines, adapting to the loss of the presence in your daily life, from morning conversations to the simplest smell of their cologne or perfume. Honoring their memory, keeping their spirit alive in meaningful ways, whether through traditions, storytelling, or simply a quiet remembrance of them. Rebuilding identity. If the person was a major part of your life, you may find yourself reconfiguring who you are without them. Adapting doesn't come all at once. It's a slow, personal, and non-linear. In closing, just please remember, it's okay to not be okay.
Thank you. Hi, good morning. My name is Len Ike, Local 57 OH&S Liaison. When you're struggling emotionally or physically, it's more important than ever to take care of yourself. Stress can quickly deplete your energy and emotional reserves. Looking after your physical and emotional needs will help you get through difficult times. Face your feelings. Trying to avoid feelings of sadness, burnout, and powerlessness only prolongs the process. Unresolved psychological challenges can also lead to complications such as depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and health problems. Express your feelings in a tangible or creative way. Even if you are not able to talk about your loss with others, it can help to write down your thoughts and feelings in a journal, for example. Or you could release your emotions by making a scrapbook or volunteering for a cause related to your emotional struggles. Try to maintain your hobbies and interests. There's comfort in routine and getting back to the activities that bring you joy and connect you closer to others who share those interests. Don't let anyone tell you how to feel, and don't tell yourself how to feel either. Your emotional well-being is your own, and no one else can tell you when it's time to get over it. Let yourself feel whatever you feel without embarrassment or judgment. It's okay to acknowledge when you are not okay, to take the time you need to heal. Engaging work that provides meaning to yourself and others. Partake in activities that challenge your creativity and make you feel productive, whether or not you get paid for them. Some ideas are gardening, drawing, writing, playing an instrument, or building something in your workshop. Spending quality time where you give of yourself to people who matter to you, whether they're friends, grandkids, or elderly relatives, can support both your health and theirs, while also providing a sense of purpose. Caring for a pet. Yes, pets. They are a responsibility, but caring for one makes you feel needed and loved. There's no love quite as unconditional as the love a pet can give. Just as we're hardwired to be social, we're also hardwired to give to others. The meaning and purpose derived from helping others or the community can enrich and expand your life and make you happier. There's no limit to the individual and group volunteers opportunities you can explore. Look after your physical health because the mind and body are connected. When you feel healthy physically, you'll be able to better cope emotionally.
Good morning. My name is Sandra Mill, Local 1 OH&S Liaison and member of the Standing Committee. I didn't write this piece, and I want to acknowledge Cindy Bill, who is an OH&S Liaison, who did write this piece, but unfortunately could not be here today. So I'm filling in as Cindy. So healthy balance is a very important concept to all with jobs under the AUPE bargaining units. You need to prioritize your mental health and family well-being while earning a paycheck. Healthy balance involves managing both your work and home life effectively to achieve equilibrium. One of the most important aspects is continual checks of your own mental health. Leave work at work. Take your breaks. At the end of the shift, recognize that short staffing is a management responsibility and you need to put yourself and your family first. Healthy work-life balance includes sleep, healthy and balanced meals, moderate use of alcohol or substances, exercise, and quick attendance of problems when you see them coming. Recognize that nothing will be perfect. So if the house is a little untidy, you should still get out and enjoy life. This will feel foreign at first, but eventually will become a lifelong sustaining habit, that will prolong your life mentally and physically. Prioritize family and friendships and take the time to appreciate the here and now. Find hobbies that you enjoy, and if money is tight, that you can still participate in. Volunteer work seems counterintuitive, but can be good for getting involved and finding friendships outside the workplace. If you find that alcohol or substance abuse, your own or a family member, is becoming a problem, recognize that this is a medical issue and there are treatment options available to help you get your life back on track. Interfamily violence can result from stressors that threaten the family mentally and physically. Speak out and get help instead of living in shame. Family and work stress can cause mental strain. If you're feeling overwhelmed, AUPE and your workplace offer short-term counseling, or you can talk to your doctor for a referral to long-term counseling. Healthy balance is about your organic world and finding a way to navigate both and striking a balance.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alicia Height. I'm the Vice Chair of Local 44 Nursing Care Central, and I sit on the OHS Standing Committee. There are countless causes of death and serious injuries at our work sites. They can be sudden or developed over time. Cancer, suicide, physical trauma, and cardiac arrest, to name a few. We have had members who have died due to these events, and some this past year. Most causes are preventable. There's a misunderstanding that healthcare workers are resilient due to our trauma bonding, which is not a healthy way to cope. We tend to put our own physical and psychological wellness aside for others. Who takes care of the caregivers? One of our union sisters from Local 44 passed away recently in a severe car accident. Her name was Jennifer Call. I was at labor school when I heard from our local chair and needed quite some time to process such sad news, thinking about how much she helped her co-workers through tough situations with life-work balance. This member was a huge union activist, leader for her chapter, and chief steward for Local 44. As time passed by that day, we noticed how much support we received from our fellow sisters and brothers. Our mental and physical resilience as LPNs and HCAs relies greatly on how our employers support us. But in the end, it's our bond between friends, co-workers, and loved ones that we can count on and give us hope. We all share this fight and exhaustion with Jen and can follow her strength and legacy to remember there can always be hope when we stand and support each other, healing together.
Thank you to these members who volunteered to speak to you on what it looks like to suffer a loss and how through resilience and self-care we can move forward. Now I'd like to welcome our final guest speaker for the day, Barb Barber. Barb is a compassionate leader and advocate with over 35 years of dedicated service in the nonprofit sector. As the former executive director of the Outreach Center in Red Deer, Barb has worked tirelessly to support individuals and families, focusing on people with developmental disabilities, youth, families, and those impacted by domestic violence and sexual violence, homelessness, and suicide. Currently semi-retired, Barb continues to make a profound impact as a strategy advisor for SAGIS in Calgary. In this role, she contributes to the Collective Impact Initiative aimed at eradicating domestic and sexual violence across Alberta. Her expertise and dedication also extend to her involvement in the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees over the past 15 years. Through this work, she has provided mental health outreach and delivered impactful workshops on topics such as domestic violence in the workplace, professional and personal boundaries, leadership, and mental health. Beyond her professional achievements, Barb treasures her personal life. She is a proud mother to 3 grown sons, 5 grandchildren, as well as devoted mom to Otis. And if anybody doesn't know, Otis is her dog, and awesome, usually as part of our team. Barb and her partner find joy in the outdoors, relishing their time at the Kootenay Lake during the summers. Barb's career and personal passions reflect her unwavering commitment to making a difference in the lives of others, fostering resilience, and inspiring positive change in her community and beyond. Barb Barber.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here with you today. As my shirt says, it starts with hope. This was my daughter-in-law made this for me, so I'll give that shameless plug to my daughter-in-law. And it does start with hope, and it's fueled by hope. Even if it's an 11:09 p.m. goal that puts us to the next, I know, right? So what I want to talk to you guys about today is just exploring the whole idea of hope, the whole power of hope. And when you think about hope, there's so many different areas that we can explore. So I picked about 4 or 5. Otherwise, we'd be here till dinner time. And I want to explore hope. And even though we're talking about remembering those who have lost their lives, remembering those who were taken from us, there's hope in that. There's hope that tomorrow's going to be a better day. There's hope that there's going to be healing. And so I really want to look at shifting us from a mindset of what we don't have to a mindset of what we do have. Because it's really easy to think about there's never enough time. There's never enough resources. There's, never enough opportunities. And that really holds us back and limits us from the power and the possibilities that can come. And it doesn't take us very long, or I guess very long, to look around and just see all the negativity that is around in the world today. I mean, it's really hard. Unless you're going to watch the Food Channel 24/7, it's really hard to not see the negative things. And when we hold on to that, and when we just consume that, that really holds us, and we aren't able to make that space for change. And let's change to hope. Hope unites us. Hope isn't only a fleeting emotion or wishful thinking. Hope is a force. And it's one that helps people to feel secure, to feel valued, to feel empowered. And hope is what drives us to prevent injuries, to mitigate hazards, and to amplify our voices, advocating for safety and transformation. Hope is the force that we need. And things look different when there is hope. And even if it's really hard to see it, I think even when we're sitting in such darkness or such despair, there's always hope. And hope fights for freedom, hope fights for justice, and hope fights for peace. Hope also fuels our purpose. Hope ensures that everybody returns safely at home at the end of the day. It is the foundation on what our protocols, our procedures, our policies, and our cultures are built. And hope is not just a positive expectation. And I think it's really easy to also allow ourselves to think, oh, I'm being hopeful, and it's this Pollyanna, and you're just forgetting the bad stuff. But hope does overcome everything. It motivates us to create those pathways to achieve goals and to promote resilience. Without hope, we don't have resilience. And so much of what I'm talking about was already said, so I'm really hoping that I'm summing it all up for everybody. But hope also is our wellness. Our wellness is our sense of safety. Our wellness is a safety issue, and hope builds wellness. even if you're not well enough to fight, even if you're not, and a few people have said it, it's okay to not be okay. Absolutely. But hope allows us to move forward and to move on from that. But hope also needs action. Without action, hope is just a word. And it's like looking at a sunflower seed, and you want to grow a sunflower, and you've got a seed. But if you don't put that seed in the soil, and if you don't nurture it, it's just a seed. And I think the same goes for hope. Hope is action. Hope demands action. Hope also pushes innovation, new ideas, and it's a proactive approach to safety. Whether it requires us, but what it does require, is for us to do better. And in a way that we can do better is to know better. And so we also need to provide ourselves and provide others that continuous education. Because once we do know better, how to do things better, what needs to change, then that's when things can change. And everybody from the shop floor to leadership can be equipped with the right tools at the right time for the right situation. But hope is also courage. And it takes courage to be hopeful, because it's really easy to sit in the pit of despair and just stay there. It can be comfortable, it can become easy, you know what to happen. But as soon as you start having hope, it's actually a little scary sometimes, because you don't know what the next step is. But those who are hopeful are courageous. It unites managers, staff, safety professionals, and communities in their commitment to protecting each other. Hope leaves no one behind. And hope allows us to understand that every measure, no matter how small, takes us closer to a future where we can eradicate workplace violence, workplace illnesses, and hope leads us to wellness. When you're in a room of negative people or sitting around a campfire and somebody starts to be negative, how uncomfortable does it get to be? And you don't really sit there and it's like, man, this is great, this is awesome. But when somebody starts being hopeful, starts talking about hope, the future, bright things to come, it's a lot more enjoyable to sit there and listen to them. And you can actually start to get on board and you feel part of the conversation. And so hope grows. But hope also shifts our thinking. On a personal level, and I just want you guys to think about this for a minute, it starts with us. And we need to shift our mindset to a mindset of hope rather than a mindset of scarcity. So a mindset of a scarcity, what we do need is a mindset of abundance. And we need to recognize that we can achieve hope, we can achieve greatness. And what that allows us to do when we start shifting to a mindset of abundance, we start looking at what things we do have that we can leverage. And so when I was coming up here, I was thinking, okay, what can I use an example? And so I'm really going to simplify this. So when you're thinking you don't have the tools that you need, you don't have what you need to get to the next step, think about it this way. You're sitting at home and you're trying to figure out, I don't really have a lot of food in my fridge, not sure what I should make for lunch, not sure what I should do. But think of it this way. Do you have a frying pan? Do you have a loaf of bread? And do you have a piece of cheese? Now you can make a grilled cheese sandwich. So when you start thinking about the things that you do have, it's amazing, and you can make a great grilled cheese sandwich, by the way. But then you start thinking about I can rather than I can't. So let's take a moment and consider it starts with us. And hope is contagious. When you come from a position of strength, anything is possible. We go from a mindset of I can't to a mindset I can make a great grilled cheese sandwich. We become creative. We become empathetic to those around us. And it helps navigate those challenges. Nobody can run away from challenges, adversity, struggles in their life. but hope helps us navigate that easier. And it's okay, like a few have said, it's okay to not be okay, but we can't stay that way. We need to change. So here's a few things that you can do to practice an abundance mindset. And this first one is a lot harder than you think. Begin your day, before you even get out of bed, begin your day with 3 things that you're thankful for. I've taken on this practice. I've stayed in bed in the morning for quite a while before I can actually come up with 3 things. But what is amazing is how that changes the outlook for the rest of the day for you. Surround yourself with positivity. Celebrate your successes. Acts of kindness reinforce the belief in abundance. Limit negativity. It's amazing what happens when you shut the news off. When you turn it back on 6 hours later, it's the same story. So you really haven't missed a whole lot. Stay present through meditation to reduce stress. And I know it's easier said than done, but reducing stress is such an important step in creating that hope for yourself. And remember, cultivating abundance is an ongoing journey, but together we can actually make that happen. So hope is a force, it's not a feeling. Hope inspires us, it's contagious, it illuminates the darkness, and it paves the way even when setbacks come. So let's carry the spirit of hope. Let's leave here today carrying the spirit of hope, choosing to see the good and believe in a brighter tomorrow. So when you choose to see the good, you have the courage to face adversity. And so I'm going to try something here. So nothing like trying something new. So I really hope this works. So I know everybody has their phone with you. Can you scan the QR code? We're going to do a word cloud. If I just touch the screen, does that, okay. Has everybody got the code? And I want you to, and if somebody doesn't have a phone and you want to work with somebody beside you, everybody has 3 words. I want you to type in a word that talks about what does hope mean to you. I'm so excited this is working. And what happens with this is as when a word gets bigger, it means more people have used that same word. I know this is the first time I've used this, so I mean, to me, this is new to everybody, but I'm sure everybody has seen this before, so. So anybody still working on answers? Everybody got them in? I just want to thank you for allowing me to share a few messages of hope. And I really hope that as we go forward, that we kind of are able to change our lens for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb, for taking time to speak to our members and supporting AUPE in our efforts to improve our OHS culture. It is important for us to push for safety measures and push for better outcomes where no one is placed in jeopardy. Now, I want us now to proceed to our Roland Sumlack presentation. I would like to invite Darlene Sumlack, sister of Roland Sumlack, to join the committee in the presentation of this award. And I will call on Chantel Tyndall to give us a history of the Roland Sumlack Award, and we will go forward.
Good morning. My name is Chantel Tyndall, Local 95 member and member of the Standing Committee. At this time, we would like to recognize any previous recipients of the award to please stand. AUPE values the ongoing contributions of these award recipients. Thank you. Established in 1990 by Local 12, the award honors Roland Sumlack, an AUPE member who tragically lost his life on the job. This prestigious recognition not only celebrates the commitment of AUPE members to OHS, but also serves as a tribute to Roland and all workers injured or killed at work. The Roland Sumlack Award honors members who show dedication in encouraging health and safety measures in the workplace. The recipient of the award will be an example to other members in raising awareness of occupational health and safety issues and strives for a higher standard in health and safety on the job. I would like to call up Juanita Kozakar from Local 56 to introduce the first recipient of the 2025 Roland Sumlack Award, Sandra Mill, Local 1, to the podium.
I have the honor of nominating my sister Sandra Mill for this prestigious award. She began her OHS adventures on the Central Regional Health and Safety Committee on July 14th, 2015. She was an initial participant in setting up this committee and was made up of members from various offices within Central Alberta without missing a single meeting. Sandra made many recommendations with the committee, including vehicle walkarounds and safety checklists. The regional committee eventually stood down and the offices started making their own joint worksite health and safety committees. She is a member of the Red Deer Provincial Building Children's Services Committee and started this in 2017 and currently sits as the co-chair representing the union. When a coworker was exposed to a substance that was brought into their worksite, and with the ongoing potential that this could occur, Sandra and her colleagues worked extremely hard and created a procedure to manage client belongings being brought in. A safe work practice had to be drawn up, a recommendation made by their Joint Workplace Health and Safety Committee, and implemented for the safety of all workers and admin staff within the offices. Sandra sits on the Provincial OHS Committee as the lone Local 1 member. This committee is preliminary made up of Local 6 members with the addition of managers and OHS consultants. Sandra has been a representative of the OHS Standing Committee since 2021 and has been the OHS liaison for her local since 2017, bringing the issues forward from the local as well as her own chapter and work sites. Sandra's worksite probably has one of the largest bulletin boards that always has safety posters up and information for members. Sandra has been instrumental in adding the moment of silence to council meetings and area councils and chapter meetings as well. She is always very cautious of hazards everywhere she goes and will always speak up when she sees something that needs to be corrected. Sandra does the OHS piece for new staff at her worksite and ensures that they get the full 30 minutes that is allotted for union orientation. Sandra is a member of the OH&S steering committee that was put together in 2022 to assist the new OH&S program that is now offered to all AUPE members. In closing, I would like to thank Sandra for all her hard work and her passion around occupational health and safety. Her commitment to her coworkers truly shines when all she wants is all staff to go home safe at the end of the day to their families, friends, and loved ones. Thank you, Sandra.
So we'll call up Sandra Mill to receive the award from her nominator and from Ms. Sumlack. John's still taking a picture. All right, Sandra, you want to say a few words?
That's got yeah, Kleenex is right here. Yes, we may need it, but yes. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, I want to thank my nominator, Juanita Kozkar, for recognizing what we do. It's not often that we hear enough what we do as OH&S advocates. And I'm a 21-year member of the government and have done a OH&S for a number of those years, but this is the first time it's been recognized, so thank you all. It's an honor to receive this prestigious Roland Sumalak Award. This recognition highlights my commitment to occupational health and safety. I do want to recognize a few special people, though, that have been along with me in my journey. Bonnie Gastola, Eraz Raz, Dennis Malenko. Thank you for your encouragement, your support, your mentorship during this 21 years. Without some of these people, I would not be in this position. I would still be just at my work site. I want to thank the OH&S Standing Committee, all the members that I've had the pleasure of working with the last 2 terms, so 4 years. You guys are a rock, and you do great work, and we need to recognize that. So thank you for always being there and being a support as well to all of our members. We've accomplished a lot during those years. We put together some great programs. We've worked on improving reporting for working short and OH&S incidents. Keep it up. We need those numbers. So report, report, report. And everybody hears me say that too. It's like, did you report that? Please do. 1GX and 2AUPE. Use both. So we've done the working short issues. We've done poster campaigns to promote safety issues on our work sites. And our latest endeavor, which we're all quite proud of, the Safety Heroes, to recognize members that do small things that make a big difference at our work sites. So good job. It's awesome. And we're so happy that we have some to give out today. Other than what Juanita told you, my OH&S journey actually began when I suffered a workplace injury. I was working overtime, and I went to go home, and I fell down a set of stairs and couldn't get up again. Luckily enough, my supervisor was still at work because it was way after hours, and the lights in the building do not come on. So I'm sitting on a mezzanine, not able to get up. Thankfully, she was in the building, and I had my cell phone with me. I phoned her, go like, I need some help. My first ever ambulance ride, hopefully my last. Don't ever want to do it again. No, not a thing I like. But when I fell, I didn't realize how much damage I'd actually done. just the fact that I couldn't get up really didn't mean anything to me, right? I spent a number of hours in Emerge. It's just a sprain. We'll wrap it, go home. So crutches, because of course you can't walk around. It took 3 months for them to realize that no, there was more damage than that. Actually, the ligaments and the tendons were all torn away, which prevented the healing. So there was many months of therapy and all sorts of other things. When this happened to me, I recognized that due to workloads, short staffing, the fact that I'm a primary or was a primary caregiver for 2 elderly parents at that time, all came together in one thing. So my work life and stresses collided with my personal life and stresses. Therefore, not paying attention, I was injured. So it led me to start thinking about how much impact does that have? How many of the rest of us are thinking the same things? How many of us have all of those things? How can we make this better? How can we not be injured at work? So that led to a lot of education in OH&S, a lot of labor schools, government. I did the whole government program back when it was there, and now we have the new one. So I hope you're all taking that, just so that we can actually make it so that, I always say, I want every member to go home safely at night to their loved ones, to their family, come back the next day to their coworkers, because it's important. And I want to see less injuries, less fatalities. We start with one person, and we just keep going. And it takes all of us to actually achieve this. So you're all activists in this room, so promote OH&S. Again, I'm honored to receive this award, and it's going to sit really proudly on my desk at work because I want everybody to see it. So thank you.
I would now like to call upon Barb McCutcheon to introduce our second recipient of the 2025 Roland Sumlack Award, Paulette Harrison from Local 52.
Can you hear me? Cool. Good morning, everybody. My name is Barb McCutcheon. I'm Local 52 Chair, and I have to say this is my first day of mourning, and I am so impressed. Thank you to Bonnie and the OHS committee and the liaisons for putting this on. Job well done. So, the reason we're here. I read that, and I just don't want to repeat myself. I just want you to know that I nominated Paulette. I am so honored to be able to do that. Paulette and I have known each other for about 15 years. In the past 2 years, as local chair and Paulette as chief steward in the office, I've had the opportunity to see and to be a part of the OH&S issues that are on our campus and how Paulette deals with them. She is so passionate, and believe you me, passionate. I've heard that word from many people on campus when they talk about Paulette and OH&S issues. She is an amazing advocate for all our members on campus. She shares her knowledge. She is so incredibly, don't start that because no, not crying. I'm looking at my phone. So she consistently shares her knowledge with our members and empowers them to take that information back to the workplace, because that's where I think we need to ensure that that knowledge is shared all over campus. She continuously uses the role of chief steward and OH&S liaison to bring up safety issues on campus. She works tirelessly to ensure they are brought up to safety standards, and we do have a few issues on campus, just so you know. And she also fosters a community of care and accountability. She is consistently taking courses so that she can expand her knowledge and share that with our university community. Her completion of the OH&S diploma shows her dedication to safety issues. Plus, being on the OH&S Standing Committee, I'm sure you all know Paulette well. I saw lots of hugs when we came today. I didn't get any, just so you know. I just wanted to share that with you. Next time, hugs, okay, girls? Except for my roomie. She has completed the AUPE Advanced OH&S course, attended the Women in Safety Summit for the past 2 years, and encouraged our new members to attend, to get involved with OH&S. That is such a proud moment for me. I can go on and on and on about her list of accomplishments, but I don't know about you guys, but I hear there's lunch. So I just wanted to highlight a few of these things. She ensures that members are comfortable with bringing up safety issues at their job site. We need all of our campuses, all of the work sites to be mentally, emotionally, and physically safe. And Paulette plays a crucial role, and I mean crucial, ensuring safety issues are taken seriously on our campuses. So thank you so much for the committee for choosing Paulette to receive this award. I believe she truly embodies and lives all facets of this incredible recognition. Thank you, Paulette, and thank you to the committee.
Welcome, Paulette Harrison.
All right, so this is off the cuff. I'd like to thank everybody who's here because, like Sandra said, you are advocates. Again, I'd like to thank my Local 52 for supporting me. My chair right now, Barb McCutcheon. Previous chair, Justin Hughesby, who's here in the room, now that he's our EST, but we still use him for information and getting help. Bonnie Costola and Guy and Barb Berber, her and I have had many conversations when it comes to dealing with mental, physical, psychological stresses on our work sites. We want to make sure, like Sandra said, that we don't want to talk about work-life anymore. It's supposed to be life-work. You should be living your life. You shouldn't be doing your life for work. You need to make sure you get home. You need to make sure that you're taken care of. As she mentioned report, well, my staying is, as a lot of people in my local and other locals have known now, is document. You want to document. Your membership service officers will remind you that. Our OH&S staff reminds you that. Our OHS education staff who are here in the room supporting and helping you and learning different aspects of it. We want to make sure that we are kept safe, that you get home in one piece, and that you help mentor and encourage others to bring things forward when there's an issue and concern. Be there to support them, help listen, educate. Don't be afraid to bring concerns forward. If it's one concern on you, that's all that matters. Because you know what? Somebody else probably has the same thing. I can give you all sorts of stories about in terms of my OH&S background and information, but you know what? Just come and talk to me and I'll figure things out. I do my best, as Barb says, to listen to our members. It doesn't matter who you are, what sector you're from. I'm part of the Calgary Area Council executive. So in the Calgary Area Council, I do my best to listen to everyone, come up with different ways to help people. And it's all about working together to make sure that everybody comes home safe and that you have a good balance between your work and your life but your life always should come first. Take that time to reflect and document, document, document. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Paulette. I'm now going to call on Wally Howe to give us a little history as to, go ahead, escort Darlene back to her chair. Wally volunteered to be Darlene's escort for us today, so he's got double duty here. And Wally's going to give us a history of how we came up with the new award that we're going to be presenting members in a positive way. So, Wally.
Thank you, Bonnie. Distinguished head table, honored guests, fellow advocates, and fellow workers. I'm here to give a little blurb as to see how the Health Safety Hero Award has come across. Epiphany, the sudden intuitive perception or insight. I had this light bulb moment when I witnessed an incident at one of our work sites. I saw a young man, Riley Lewis, recognize a serious safety issue while moving a skid of garbage bags from a high shelf while using a power jack. He saw the unstable load shift and immediately stopped the lift and called for other staff members to examine the load and to discuss how to proceed safely. Once the plan was in place, he had the other staff establish a safety perimeter and safety zone and then completed the move safely. When the load was on the floor, he found the pallet was in poor shape, missing and broken slats. Then, to prevent a reoccurrence of this situation, he moved the 60 cases of garbage bags onto another skid. It occurred to me that here was a member being safety conscious, recognizing a safety issue, and taking steps to prevent his fellow workers from becoming injured. This is when it came to me, we should be recognizing our members who are doing the right thing, okay, and acting to keep our fellow members safe so that we all can go home safe at the end of the day. Thank you to the OH&S committee for creating this award, and congratulations to all the recipients of the Safety Hero Award.
Thank you, Wally. I will recognize at this time, and some of them are in the room, and we will get you your certificates, which you all see we're lined up at the front of the room here. But the recipients for this year, Riley Lewis, who is basically the inspiration for the award, Alicia Height, Stephen Michaud, who's in the room, Melanie Neufeld from Local 4, Rosalie DeVoe, Local 46, Katie Nielsen, Local 95. Sorry, and I failed to mention Alicia is Local 44. We appreciate all of those people out there, all of our members who are actually practicing safe practices and hopefully continuing to honor our safety heroes. As you'll start to see this is coming out of your locals, it'll be coming out of our Facebook presence. We are going to be honoring the best of what we do in occupational health and safety moving forward. I'm now going to ask Dorinda Ainscoe from Local 12 to give the history of the poem and read the poem Someone.
So the poem was written in honor of Roland Sumblack, who is Local 12, as am I, by Dennis Mickelson, who is also Local 12. This poem is read at every Day of Mourning ceremony. It's very important and was read in 1996 at the United Nations by Dennis Maleko, a former OH&S staff member for AUPE. Someone died the other day. An accident is what they say. The boom went up and hit the line. The medics came, but not in time. How could it happen, we stare and say. We practice safety every day. We grieve with the family and do our best to help each other through this test. Suddenly emerged from unseen forts, inspectors chastise and make reports. Where were they before the day a safety hazard took a life away? In a hurry, running late? Do it now or it can wait. But the work's important, priority one. We can do it if we run. Need more training? That's okay, but it can wait for another day. What? Staff unhappy? All will be well when we hear from personnel. Safety's important, it's not a game. That was the line before the budget came. Reduce your workload, that's not what we meant when we cut staff by 10%. The more we do, the more needs done. Building empires is really fun. Do your work and really care. The more you do, the better I fare. The death of our brother was tragic and wrong, but he cared and our memories will be cherished and long. With his passing, our brother left something to do. The torch has been passed to me and to you.
Thank you, Dorinda. It always hits home every time I hear it. So I want to say that this poem has a message, and it is as relevant today as when it was written over 35 years ago. At this time, I would now like everyone to rise, if able, and please observe a moment of silence to honor those we have lost. Thank you, everyone.